See, what they don't know is they're tuning in to DBYT Podcast. My name is Taisha Hines, and this is my show where I'll explore the ins and outs of the world around me. You can tune in every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Y'all are tuning into your favorite podcast with your favorite host. For those who are new here and listening for the first time, welcome and thanks for choosing the right vibe for tonight. I'm Taisha, and I don't bite my tongue. For returning listeners, thanks for coming back. Tonight, you guys are in for a treat as our guest will give us the 411 on how she made lemonade out of lemons. With that being said, let's get into it. Welcome everybody. Today we're welcoming a new guest on DBYT. She is currently going into her last year at Valdosta State University while pursuing a degree in mass media. I had the privilege of working with her while I was there. Very sweet, bright, promising young woman. So everybody give a warm welcome to Jaelyn. So Jaelyn, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
You know, pretty cool. So you got anything new in your life?
Not to brag or anything, just trying to get the word out there. I actually just won a award for a film festival in Toronto, Canada for the production that I was acting in last semester.
Congratulations. I actually saw that. Was it Chance Encounter? You worked with Ryan, I remember. Yes, so congratulations. Good job. Do you want to go into acting by any chance?
When I was 14, I did.
Okay, so what do you want to do now?
Well, I just had to be a little more realistic and understand that acting isn't for everybody. And now I just want to be a motivational speaker. Okay. I just want to inspire people.
I love that for you. That sounds really nice. And plus, when you do stuff like that, you definitely get to travel a lot. Is there one place you want to go in particular? I would love to go to Haiti, Puerto Rico. And if the crime rate wasn't so bad, I would love to go to Venezuela because I feel like those are kind of targeted as like poor poverty countries. And I just feel like those are the places that we need to be giving back to more now than ever because they need support. They need, certain assets that us Americans don't see as we're privileged enough to even have them. So I feel like, I love to visit those countries and give back as much as I can. Okay. Well, I hope one day you do get to go there. But as for the rest of us, Jaelyn is here to give us an inside look into her life as it has taken so many unexpected turns in ways that she never thought was possible. So as we dive in, we'll get to know more about her and her unique story.
Ain't that the truth? Okay. So I guess I kind of started this whole inspirational journey when I was 8. I grew up very poor, I don't want to say unfortunate, but there was times where I was placed in traumatic events that made me, have to grow up at a very early age. Then when I was around 14, I was in a very serious traumatic car accident where me and my sister were turning into our neighborhood, but unfortunately we couldn't quite get into our neighborhood because as soon as we turned, we got T-boned by a car that was speeding and didn't have their headlights on. It was raining, it was dark, couldn't see. From there, I was knocked unconscious immediately at impact, where I was rushed to 3 different hospitals. Since I was knocked unconscious, I didn't regain consciousness until about 2 weeks later when I woke up. I couldn't speak. I couldn't walk. I couldn't really do anything. I had realized that the entire right side of my body was shattered, and that literally from my head to my toe, I kind of was useless, just lying in bed, getting hosted by the little host thing in the patient room and getting wheelchair down to different therapies. It took me about, I want to say it took
it took me 28 days to fully gain enough strength to be released from the hospital. And then I spent about a month in my outpatient rehab facility where I went through physical therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapy, and I just kind of had to regain my mobility as far as being, walking, tying my own shoe, brushing my own teeth, writing, because when I first picked up a pencil, I didn't even know how to hold it, which this whole incident really took me back. Like, I didn't go to school until about 3 months after it happened. And when I did get back into school, I was placed into all of my honor and advanced classes like nothing ever happened, because I had all that therapy, all that, at times healing. I was regaining my strength, regaining my mobility, able to become the person that I kind of was before without, very much time in between. And so that kind of sparked my inspirational journey, because obviously, within those first 72 hours, the doctors told my mom that there was a very slim chance that I would make it out of it. And if I did, I would never be the same person I was. Of course, now I have a brain injury and a scar around my eye, and my collarbone pops out a little bit, but if you looked at me, you couldn't even tell.
Wow. That sounds like a movie. I'm not gonna lie. I would pay money to see that. That's crazy. But like, you say you was 14 when that happened?
Yes, ma'am. I was a freshman in high school.
That like just the mental and physical toll that had to have on you. I know that was crazy. Like, how did you get through that time? Did you ever feel like you wasn't going to be the same person, even though like they were saying that? Did you believe them?
Honestly, no. And I say that to say I'm a person where I don't like people like feeling sorry for me or putting pity on me because I'm injured or I can't do certain things. Like I've always hated when people felt sorry for me. And so for me, when I was able to actually speak again, I told whoever was in the room at the time, I said, I have to call my dance teacher and I have to ask her when our next practice is, because we had a big showcase coming up and I had to finish my dance. I had to clean it up. I had to make sure everything was good. Like, that's all I ever thought about, was getting out of the hospital so I can get back on that stage and start dancing again. That was pretty much like my main focus of getting out of the hospital. Nothing else mattered.
That's a crazy story, man. Like on a serious note, how do you think you recovered so quickly? Like, what was there for you to do that? Was it the medicine? Was it you? What was it?
Honestly, it when I was knocked unconscious, obviously I had no idea what was going on, but when I woke up, everyone kind of told me that there was all these people that came in and prayed over me and prayed with me. They played music and they just sat with me and just, they sat there and they prayed. That's all they could do. Mm-hmm. And so when I finally woke up, I had that moment of realization that like, okay, I'm here for a reason. Like, there is no way I should have made it out of this accident the way I have been, and the way, like, healing the way I have, like, that's like insane. Not to mention, like, I had a lot of personal stuff literally going on the year before, and I just wanted to end it all. And then for that accident to happen like that, I was shooketh, and I was like, I'm never taking anything for granted ever again. Because that was God.
That's powerful. It seemed like you came back stronger. I mean, you look amazing. Like, do you think that gave you hope?
Thank you. I think after all of that, it gave me really bad PTSD. I could not get into a car for a really long time. But I think after everything, I kind of just made me stronger as a person. You have to go through certain situations in order to grow. And I feel like that was something I had to get through in order to grow and learn that maybe, if I can get through it, maybe I can go about certain things a certain way to help other people get through it, no matter what their, no matter how badly injured they are, or, you know, how messed up their mental is. Because like you said, that was a very emotional and painful experience. So kind of one of those, if I can do it, you can do it things, I guess.
Yeah. Like, okay, I heard you speak on your dancing experience. So when you got out there after being released and everything, like, how was that whole experience for you?
So the day that I left my outpatient rehab, because I had completed everything all the therapists wanted me to, I went back to school. Well, the next day. And my mom, me and my mom had talked about, you know, how school is going to be like when I return. And she said, just take it easy. You know, you still have some, you know, your pelvis is still shattered, your collarbone's still shattered. So just take it easy. Don't try to exert yourself too much. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. Well, the day I came back was actually 8th grade night. So every year, the art department in my high school, we kind of showcase all of our arts for the upcoming 9th graders. And of course, you know, being a part of the dance team, that was something that we had to do. And I went to practice. My mom was like, I can just be my instructor's assistant. And I was like, okay. But then I, you know, saw the girls dancing and practicing, and they had changed some things. So I was like, can y'all show me the changes y'all made? And I started dancing, and I performed that same night. And my mom wasn't too happy, but I was ecstatic. Like that's why I came out the hospital. That's why I went through all that mess just so I could start dancing again. And it was crazy because there was like splits and leaps and jumps, and I kind of did it, but I like modified, and nobody could tell the difference.
Oh, that's
and I was in the front.
Oh. Oh man. You're stressing me out over here. I probably would have been like your mom, like, oh.
Well, I'm very stubborn, and like I said, all I wanted to do was dance again. So any opportunity I had, I took it.
Oh my gosh. I'm not gonna take anything from you, because that is very like inspirational on its own. So like, if you could erase the day of the accident from your life, would you do it?
Absolutely not.
And why not?
I say that to say, because even though it was very traumatizing and extremely painful in some days, it brought my family closer. It made me and my sister's bond inseparable. And she was always kind of a bully to me. But after that day, we became literally the best of friends. It actually tested me to the fullest. You know, it made me realize that there was this crazy amount of strength inside of me that I didn't even know I had. And it pushed me to do better and be better. And I kind of always was chasing after this stereotypical idea of normalcy that, you know, is not really there. But by doing that, I created a version of myself that I wanted to be. And now in college, working multiple jobs and doing everything that I want to do for my life, because again, I don't want to take anything for granted.
Oh, that's so, yeah, pretty cool. All right. I like that. So we're going to switch gears. I know that I've had my experiences with dating and like through high school and college, if you want to call it that. So continuing on with you though, because they've heard so many stories about me already. We want to know how the relationship and dating life treated you. So first question is, what was your first real relationship like?
Oh, okay. So, you know, in like movies, when girl moves into a new area and then she sees this boy, finds him really cute or whatever, boy likes girl doesn't really know girl, you know, boy likes her, whatever, right?
Yeah.
My first love was definitely like a movie. That shit was cute.
But no, that was I was 13 actually. And so we were together through the entirety of my accident and recovery process. And that was actually like really hard on him to see me like that. But it also, again, like it brought me and him and his family closer together. You know, it was cute. It was love for what I knew it to be, love in its purest form, right? But then we grew up and things happened. We knew we weren't going to be together after, you know, a bunch of nonsense. So we just called it quits, but we're still really good friends to this day. So
I feel that. I am definitely friends with people that I've dated. And honestly, things do happen like you say. And sometimes people not meant for each other. But that's the joy in dating people. You get to see what you like, what you don't like.
Exactly. My first boyfriend ever, that one was my favorite. I've only ever been in a relationship with 3 guys because the dating life sucks. That's not for me. And that second dude I was with, never again will I know. You know how people say everyone deserves a second chance?
Yeah, no.
That is a lie. Never doing that again. Never am I not going to make my peace a priority ever again, because no. Y'all missed me with that one. But go ahead. What were you saying?
Okay, before I get into that question, I heard you say the first one was your favorite. Why was he your favorite?
He was my favorite because, like, you know, when you think about memories of somebody that you spent your time with or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, all the memories that I have with him are great memories. We were always laughing. We were always joking. We were always, we never really fought. If we had disagreements, we would communicate and we would try to understand where the other person's coming from and come to a solution. And that was that. And we moved on. But like I said, and we're still really good friends to this day. But we won't ever get back together, I can tell you that.
I find it kind of crazy how when we were younger, in some essence, like, I felt like I was more, how do I say, more particular about what I wanted out of a partner. So it made sense to be with those people, And it's like, now it's like when you find people, it's like, I don't really like you. It's weird. But I definitely get where you're coming from.
You don't really give a chance.
How do you feel about this generation's outlook when it comes to talking or dating other people?
It's stupid because this generation's perspective of how they go about these things. However, it's also the age group, because if you look at it, or I guess the way I look at it, the way I see it, you have those like mid 20-year-olds to like 60-year-olds who are like, oh, we're just casually dating, but we're not exclusive. And then you have those young teens or old teens or whatever that from like 17 to I want to say like 20, and they're just like, oh, well, we're going on dates. That means we're talking, but we're not dating. So I feel like it's stupid because you can go on dates and, get to know people, but not call yourselves like exclusive or be like, oh yeah, we're talking, because you're really not. You're getting to know each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I definitely feel that the definitions that people carry are not the same. Because if you ask somebody, oh, are you talking to them? They either assume that's your boyfriend or that's your girlfriend. And you like, no, we just chill. And it's so many different categories to go. You got chill, you got sneaky link, you got this, you got that. It's a lot.
But don't let a female call a guy her best friend, because that means they doing the do, and that's her sneaky link. What? Since when? Why is that a thing?
Okay, from previous conversations, people believe that males and females cannot be friends without doing that. And I think that that's BS, because I have male friends that I'm definitely not attracted to. I just like your company, but I'm not trying to have your baby. So it's like, I don't know.
Exactly. Like, I call you a best friend because I could sit here and trust you with my life if I had to. I can sit here and tell you things that most people don't know about me because, like I said, I feel comfortable enough to trust certain, like, to tell you certain things. But I'm not going to call everybody my best friend. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going to do anything with you besides maybe, I don't know, have a conversation. And that's because these dudes, I don't know what these dudes have been eating or drinking. Or maybe if it's just all my failed relationships and my standards are way too high or like way up there. But today's dudes are just not that cute to me. I know looks aren't everything. And my family is, they're mean. Like, any person that I bring around or they see me on FaceTime with, they have to look like something. Like, my sister alone has called people a string bean, a cockroach, beetle bug. She's called somebody a bug head. You know those the Pixar movie Bug Life?
Oh my gosh.
She's called him one of them. Like, and it could literally just be a friend that I'm talking to on FaceTime or whatever. She always gotta say something. So if I do get into a relationship anytime soon or whatever, they got to be a little bit attractive. They got to be a little bit attractive and they got to be able to know how to take a joke.
Oh, honey.
And laugh it off, because I understand that the societal norms for certain women, their standards, mine kind of exceed that, because I'm looking for certain things and I'm very picky. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to settle because I did that. And I mean, obviously I was miserable. I'm not doing that again.
And that's fair. So
sometimes you just got to move according to society.
Oh, no. Huh? The girl said, nah, you can, I mean, you know.
Because you got society and their norms and what they, perceive as, acceptable and whatnot.
Yeah.
Well, you're your own, at the end of the day, you're your own person. You're gonna make your own choices and make your own mistakes and whatever, and that's cool. But I just feel like if you're going to look for society to accept you, what you do, then you're gonna fail your whole life. But if you move according to how you want to move, and like for me, I stay to myself. I'm low key, and I don't announce when I'm doing what or how I'm doing it, because it's nobody else's business but my own.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, if I want to go about something a certain way, or if I have really high standards, that's acceptable to me. But I'm not going to get society's approval for it, because they're never going to accept that.
So, what is one of the most important lessons that you've learned from a boyfriend or ex?
Oh, that's a good one. I just don't know which one. Would probably have to be listen to your gut no matter what. And I say that to say my gut has never failed me. I'll have like an off feeling about a person, but I'll still give them a chance, because, quote unquote, everyone deserves a chance. And then later down the line, they'll show me why my gut was giving me that feeling from the jump. So,
are you currently in a relationship, or are you single right now?
Girl, I am single. I don't have time for a relationship. And that's okay.
Yeah, it's definitely okay. I'm single right along with you. So, when you were in a relationship, what did you enjoy the most about it?
My last one was fun. We laughed a lot, joked around, and we just spent a lot of time getting to know each other, and just, I don't know. This was the last relationship I was in was different, because he was an actual gentleman, and apparently I have terrible taste in men, so I wasn't used to that. And I don't know, it's just the more we spent together, the more we were constantly learning stuff about each other, but we were kind of like the same person, which was weird, because we have similar backgrounds of our past, but yet the things that we
we're going through in the present, or like even future discussions or conversations that we had, like it was constantly one person or both of us learning more than we thought we were going to get, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
I think it makes an abundance of sense. So, what advice would you give to your younger self about the type of men that you do go for?
The type of advice that I would give my younger self is to not look for a certain type of relationship with a person, not to see the potential that someone could be and look at them for who they really are, and really just take your time, because you don't have to be married and you don't have to have your family all figured out by the time you're 25. Like, it is okay to slow down, especially growing up at a young age. Like, slow down, you know?
Yeah, you speaking on it. I've seen so many people that aren't satisfied with themselves just yet, so they look for themselves in other people, so to speak, like they're scared to be alone. And the thing that I've learned about when I'm alone is that I'm okay. I am okay with being by myself. Like, I can deal with it. So it's like when it is time for me to get into another relationship, right, or whatever comes along, I know that I know myself, and I know what I'll tolerate. I know what frustrates me. I know what I'll put up with, and I know what I'll let slide. So it's very important to know yourself before you start trying to keep constantly putting yourself in somebody else's life, you know?
Yeah, louder for the people in the back.
Look, I'm gonna turn that part up. Because they ain't hearing us for real. Okay.
Nope. I think I was just gonna say, I think the biggest thing that I learned was the way that you look at yourself is a reflection of your partner. Now, I don't know where I read that. I think I read it in a book, but it made the most sense to me, because the one relationship that was absolutely terrible and I felt like I was settling and I was miserable, I didn't have the best anything going for myself at that time, where I was looking at myself at a higher level than I should have. And that reflected a lot in the partner that I was with. And I vowed to never do that, or never put myself through that again. Like, I do these positive affirmations, so those days when I am feeling low, I can bring myself back up, because I'd be damned if I have to go through anything like that ever again.
I definitely feel you on that. Like, people ask me to this day, Ty, why are you single? Why are you single? I say, look, I'm not getting into any relationships while I'm not established. I want to make sure that I am okay as a person, as an individual, before I keep going on. And like, say if I'm struggling right now and I go out looking for love, and then like you say, people are reflections of each other. So if I'm seeking something, I'm seeking myself in a way, because you're most comfortable with yourself at that time. So if I go and get a partner that's just like me and we go struggle together, absolutely not. I'm not. We're not doing that, sir.
Period.
We're going to get into these concluding statements and this advice column real quick. So, like I was speaking to you earlier, TikTok loves to show me everybody who's in my contact list now. And, I come across yours in recent times. And I saw that you like to put out these positive messages and like creating all this relatable content for your viewers when it comes like to self-love and, like self-worth and everything. So I just, wanted to touch a little bases on that.
Well, like you said earlier, I realized that the people that were around in my life, the people I consider to be friends, the people that I thought loved and cared about me, even family, I was miserable. I was depressed. I didn't really want to be here, but that's not who I am. And giving up has never been in my vocabulary. So I had to reevaluate some things. And I realized that I was never okay
100% with being alone. Like, that's something that I had to change. And that was something that, you know, now I'm okay with, because obviously I am the bomb.com. But you know, I needed to really understand who I was, especially because, you know, having these relationships, having, you know, going on these dates, and just even realizing that the toxic negative energy was actually coming from within my own family. Like, I had to cut it all off. And so when I started this self-love journey, this healing journey, it opened my eyes to so many different things. And I know, you know, TikTok is like a creative platform. And so I saw a lot of influencers talking about like, oh, you know, they're just promoting different products, or they're trying to, you know, help other women feel more beautiful about themselves. But I didn't really see those content creators that were creating, you know, relatable content through their own experiences to help people grow. So what I started doing was, once I reached about, I think it was 5,000 followers, I went ahead and I started making these kind of like journal diary entry things, where basically I give great advice to other people, but I never take it myself. So I thought, if I'm going to give someone else advice, I should probably start taking my own. So I created these little journal diaries, and it was like I was speaking to myself, telling myself the advice that I needed, telling myself, okay, if this isn't working for you, try, you know, doing something like this. And then after a while, I guess I started gaining a bigger following, because a lot of people were actually going through some of the same stuff that I was going through, again, through those experiences. And the way I handled it, or the way I talked about it, I've read that it's helped a lot of people, and they were so thankful for my words, and that they're going to try and do better and be better, not for anybody else but themselves. And just the people that reach out have really touched me in a way that, like, I don't want to stop doing this. Like, I want to keep making these, even if they started off as like something for me to do for myself. Now it's something for me to help myself while I'm helping others in the process. And I think that is just a beautiful experience.
I definitely think serving others does bring peace. I relate to you in that way, because like this past month has been very tough on my mental. It's been things that's been popping up from my past that it kind of created like this dark cloud, and I was like very uninspired for I don't want to say since I graduated, but more like towards the beginning of June, like maybe 2-3 weeks after I graduated, I was just like, I don't know what to do with myself, because I don't know where to start. And it's like I have so much stuff that was going on that I just couldn't find the strength to do what I needed to do. And just a few nights ago, 2 nights ago, I talked to one of my younger brothers who lives in Texas about his situation. And I was telling him, because he was like, something's off with you and this and that. And I was just like, man, you know, just life. And he was like, man, talk to me. We start talking. And next thing you know, I'm like, I just can't find me right now. And he's like, well, let's talk about me then. And then when we started talking about him, it was easier for me to kind of, like a switch kind of happened, because it was like, I could help you, which made me feel better. So it was like, yo, I feel amazing.
Right, yeah.
So like, you know, yesterday I started reaching out to people, and I'm like, let me get back on my podcast, bro, because this is where I felt the most at home. And I'm like, if I could talk to people about their lives and their beliefs and everything, that makes me feel so whole. It's crazy, but I definitely feel you on that. I definitely feel you.
Yeah, and I didn't even expect it to blow up the way it did, but I'm glad it did, because even if I still had those 5,000 followers I did in the very beginning, you know, at least I'd be reaching some people. Mm-hmm. But now I'm like 14,000 followers in after a couple months, and
constantly, getting DMs about their situations and how to go about it and how they should probably, do this a certain way, or maybe not even do it a certain way at all. And it's like, it's an honor because I don't know these people, and they're like people from all over the country, all over the world. And it's just like, I'm not perfect. I make my own mistakes, but I'm glad that, I initiated a conversation and I potentially helped these people regardless of their situation. And it's one of those things that you do that you feel like you're calling, like you're here for a reason, and this might be your reason.
Yep. Do you have anything that that you do on the daily, the weekly, or the monthly to help you stay on your toes while you're still going through your process?
I date myself a lot.
Okay.
So I work a lot and I don't really have time to do things during the day. So what I end up doing is sometimes I go out and I have dinner with myself, and I enjoy good food, try new things. Sometimes every now and again, I'll get a drink or two and invite peace into my life. And I journal, I shop online. So, that retail therapy is a dangerous game, but it's fun.
Gosh.
I spend a lot of time with my family, and my niece always makes my day better no matter what.
Speaking on family, have the people around you noticed any differences in you?
My mom sees a slight difference in me. And I say that to say, like I said, she was there through the entirety of the accident. She was there through the entirety of that terrible relationship, and she's here now. And so it's kind of just like she's constantly grow as a woman, constantly seeing me take care of my responsibilities and just supporting me, always making sure that I'm okay mentally.
Yeah,
I think she might be the only one, because everybody else, they don't care, but they don't count either, so it's fine.
Do you have any final words for the people who could be struggling to find love within their lives or even in themselves?
Honestly, if you're struggling to find love, whether that's in a relationship or within yourself, just breathe. Just breathe and inhale peace, exhale stress, and really just start doing things that make you happy. Start doing things, like little things even. Take the time out of your day to do those little things and really just hone into who you are. And if that means you have to online shop for a couple hours because that's what you like to do, or that's something that, takes your mind off things that you're stressing about, do it. Or if you are a creative person, go out, create a masterpiece. Take the time out of your day, every day. Do little things. Write in a diary, write in a journal, breathe, meditate, make something. And after a while, those little things will start to kind of become a habit. And then you'll start learning and you'll start learning more about yourself and loving more about yourself because of those little things. And then, if you're struggling with love in a relationship, maybe you need to take a step back and relearn yourself, relearn the things that you admire, the things that you like, don't like, the things that make you tick, or reevaluate the things that you thought you could tolerate before, but maybe now you don't. We are constantly changing. We are constantly evolving. And sometimes you just have to take a step back and go back to the basics. But regardless of whatever you're struggling with, know the process isn't going to be linear, and you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days, but you have to keep fighting. You have to keep going, because nobody else is going to do it for you.
I think that was very well said. And today, I think everybody could take a look at your story and feel related to any part, whether it's the traumatic experiences and the push you have to give yourself to keep going, or the relationships, because Lord knows we all been through it. Or even just this self-love journey that you're going through, because it definitely takes a lot of inner strength and a lot of self-reflection to get to where you need to be. So parting ways, I do want to say good luck in finding your way and, you know, becoming that motivational speaker that you want to become. And that it was a pleasure having you today, Jaelyn. And if you want to drop your socials, now is the time.
Thanks. I loved being on here, even though I probably talked a little bit more than I should have. But yeah, if y'all want to follow me on any social media, you can follow me on Instagram at Beauty Within, but when you spell beauty, the A is an X. And then you can follow me on TikTok, SlayJ. That's the same as my Twitter handle, and Beauty Within with an extra N is my Snapchat if y'all want to get more personal. I appreciate you so much, Taisha, for having me.
Oh man, it was a good time today, and we all enjoyed your journey, but we out. So we're gonna see y'all here next week on DBYT. That's all we have for DBYT tonight. I want to give a special thanks for everyone who has made it to the end of this episode with us. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at _Senah, that's SENIH, or at DBYT Productions. If you have any comments, suggestions, topics, or questions, feel free to hit me up on social media. You can tune in next week where we'll be discussing the importance of growing up and growing apart. Again, I'm Taisha, and I promise I won't bite my tongue.